Javelinas. It is the South Texan halftime show. I am your host, Jacob Daniels, alongside
Chris Olivares.
And it has been an interesting one, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Offense is looking great. It is 14-0. That defense is holding up like we talked about in the pregame show, if y'all caught that. Defense had to step up, and with the score being what it is, the defense has stepped up.
Yeah, it has been the defense that has essentially outshined the offense today. I know the score does say 14-0, but this defense is not allowing an inch against this Greyhound wing T offense. And honestly, it's showing the reason why the wing T offense is so outdated. It is very complicated to master, and even the best of the best can't seem to master this level of an offense. So for this Javelina defense to come out here tonight and take care of business the way that we said that they should have, it's just been amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really good game. The defense has stepped up. Again, like we talked about, the defense is playing off of their keys. I see D-Mac in the backfield every time, and he's getting that guy. And the same thing with Xavier Henderson, too. He's right back there, and they're getting back there, and they're getting those pressures where they're keying off of their linemen.
Yep.
So they're doing really well.
Yep. On the offensive side of the ball, though, 2 touchdowns. One by Jalen Brown, who ran it in for himself, and then he tossed another one to Roger Hagan. Beautiful pass, wide open. And honestly, the 2 touchdowns, it could have been more.
Yeah.
There has been 2 turnovers. I believe it was already 2 turnovers in the game.
I think so. 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3 in the game. I know one of them was on a 4th down conversion attempt in the red zone. Rather than going for the 3, Coach Salinas called for the offense to remain on the field. I believe we did get it, but unfortunately, the Greyhound defense did punch the ball out and recover the fumble. But fortunately for us, it didn't amount to anything.
Yeah, I will say on one of Jalen Brown's interceptions, it wasn't really his fault. It was just a fight in the red zone, honestly. And it was 2 defenders versus our I forget his name, number 11. I mean, that's not on him. I don't put that interception on him because it was a contested ball and they just took it from him. So I would say these turnovers are costing us points, but the defense is stepping up.
Yeah, and there's not drive killers either. Like we've seen this team bounce back from turnovers. We've also seen them kind of fall through because of the turnovers that are happening. But that's not what we're seeing here tonight on the field. The offense may turn the ball over a few times, but the very next series that they're out there, it's as if it doesn't even bother them. They put that in the back of their minds, they maintain discipline, and they just keep on driving and keep on doing what they know best.
Yeah, and a little bit of what Chris was talking about in the pregame show was special teams.
Yeah.
I know we've been harping on it all week, but again, the special teams has stepped up. I think that opening kickoff, if you saw any of the posts, he muffed that kickoff, and we were right there to get it. So I think kickoff-wise, or special teams-wise, we're doing really good in that aspect. But a little bit, I don't know if Chris kind of talked about it, but the run game.
Yeah.
The run game has really stepped up. I would say in these past 2 home games, rushing hasn't really been there. The rushing attack hasn't been there. But we've seen 2 major runs by Roger. So I think if we continue to have that Roger Hagan dominance like we've seen in the early part of the season, we should be set up for a lot of points in the second half.
Yep, and that's something that this team has tried to rely on time and time again, has been the rushing game. And like Jake mentioned, sometimes there are a few games where the run game just isn't there. But that is not the situation here tonight. The run game has been stellar. The offense has been trying to test the Greyhound defense over the top, getting those deep passes. And I feel like, honestly, if we keep on running, keep on doing what we're doing in the front lines and running it up the middle with Roger or bouncing it off to the outside with some of our other running backs, that's going to make the defense want to creep up. Then that's what's going to open for everything over the top for Jalen Brown to air it out to any of his star wide receivers out there. Jackson Allen, Eli Martinez. I'm blanking on the guy's name, number 11 as well.
Yeah, but kind of building off of that with the rushing attack, we've seen the pass, at least in the first half, we've seen Jalen Brown hit Jackson Allen on those slants, on those 15-yard slants. We've seen a lot of passes, and we've really seen a true balanced offense. And like we said, I said it in the postgame, I think tonight will be a very good opportunity to see that offense at full strength. Hopefully we get that bowl game like we've been talking about in the pregame show, and kind of what we've been talking about all week, because that offense is so dominant when it is truly what it is.
Yeah, and honestly, what I'm looking forward to in this second half is for that offense to take the next step forward and start putting the nail in the coffin in this game. Start laying the hammer down, just keep doing not only doing what they were doing in the first half, but take that next step. Obviously, I'm sure what the Greyhound defense is talking about right now is talking about taking care of the run game. Now, if they only, like I mentioned, if they only focus on the run game, that's going to open up holes in the defense for our wide receivers to get open and potentially even score a touchdown.
Yeah, and with it being that last game, and we don't know if we're going to get a bowl game. I think if I'm the offense coordinator, Coach Lagerstrom, it's time to pull the reins off. It's time to just let him go, let him throw it, let him run it. Completely let this offense show the LSC who we are, so we can maybe get more consideration for these bowl games.
Yep, and looking at the standings in the LSC right now, we are in that prime position to get a bowl game. With a win tonight, that does completely solidify us. I want to say in that 3rd or 4th place spot. I know last year when we did receive a bowl invitation, we were 4th place in the conference. So placing 3rd and 4th, just missing the playoffs by a spot or two, that is a prime position for any school in our conference and any other D2 football conference to receive a bowl invitation, and it looks like that bowl invitation might be coming.
Yeah, I agree. If being the selfish person I am, I think the Javelinas should take that bowl game. You have 2 of your captains are seniors, or actually 3 of your captains are seniors. Let's put them into that bowl game to have another dominant performance like today. But kind of going back to the offense here with those turnovers, a lot of those turnovers are because we're airing it out. We're keep going and we're keeping that pressure on them. Because defense is showing up tonight. It's 14-0. I think if the defense continues to be what it is, we can put up a goose egg on them.
Oh, definitely. If this defense just continues to just not allow an inch from this Greyhound defense, honestly, looking at the score right now with it being 14-0, like Jake mentioned, and if that offense takes that next step forward, we could be looking at a complete shutout against the Greyhounds today.
Yeah, and we've seen it in previous games before. The Javelina defense, if it's not struggling in the first half, that second half is pure dominance. I don't know how many games I've reported on that. They only score once in the second half, and that's just garbage time touchdowns. So I think if that defense continues to show up like it has been, and it did in the first half, we will continue to see a dominant performance from all the players.
And bringing up balance as well, like Jake mentioned, the offense has been playing very balanced. From what I've seen tonight, the team as a whole has been playing very balanced. There has been games where the offense shows up and the defense kind of struggles, and there's been games where the defense is just completely done their part, is doing their work, but the offense just can't seem to get anything going. But that is not the case tonight. Both sides of the ball have been playing stellar. There's been, I want to say, 2-3 penalties on the Javelinas tonight. It's been a fairly clean game. If they keep on doing what they're doing, we're going to get that 7th win.
Yeah, and kind of going off of that, too, I think this is the most well-rounded I've seen the Javelinas all year. I think that defense has stood up. The offense looks really good. We're throwing the ball. We're running the ball. I think this could be a look into next year and how good the Javelinas will be.
Yeah, and looking ahead into next year, too. If Jalen Brown, I'm sure he's still an underclassman, his sophomore, junior, somewhere there. A junior. Honestly, from what I've seen from Jalen Brown these past 3 or 4 games, he's been a starter. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in that prime position for, if there's going to be a QB competition, I think he's going to edge out any other QB that's going to be competing for him for the starting job next season.
Yeah, we've seen it tonight. Jalen Brown will move out of the pocket. He's not afraid to stand out and roll out, hit those little slant routes. And I think this team is set up to be good for the next couple of years. We are losing Jackson Allen, which is unfortunate, but I think we have such a talented wide receiver corps, and even running backs, too.
Exactly, yes.
We have a really good running back room, so I think it'll be really good.
And in college football, you're always looking for that next man up. Guys graduate, they transfer, or they just move on. And honestly, where the depth chart of this team is so deep, that next man up, it's not even a second thought. You see Santana Scott, you see Eli Martinez, you see even King Phillips, even him as well. You see these guys, they're willing to step up, they're willing to take that next level and commit to the program, which is something that the Javelinas had been lacking before Coach Salinas had gotten here. Ever since he's gotten here in 2020, you've seen what seems to be a turnaround. He's had 3 seasons where he's had 7 wins, 7-win seasons, as well as 1 bowl game appearance, and he's had the Javelinas at one point in the top 10 in the country. Honestly, with this group that we have here, moving into the future, I'm saying it looks very bright.
Yeah, and 2, we did have some problems at the beginning of the year. I mean, we went through, 3 quarterbacks?
Yeah, we did.
And I think if we go into next season having that true quarterback, and you start the year with whoever it may be, T, Cannon, or Bryce, or Jalen, I think the team will be set up even better because you'll have that whole summer, and then you'll have that whole year for Jalen Brown to just be the dominant player he is. And we've seen it tonight. We've seen this whole offense become what it should be. They're throwing it, they're running it, and we're doing very well.
Yep, we're just going to have to look forward to see what that second half is going to bring for Jalen Brown and this Javelina offense as well as the defense. Again, if the defense just keeps doing what they're doing, this game's not even going to be close at all.
Yeah. This will show the true dominance that the Javelinas are. With offense looks great, the defense looks great, and like we said earlier, the special teams is looking great too. But at the end of the day, we'll see. I don't think they'll score again, but it's yet to be determined.
Personally, I don't either. They might give us a scare here and there, but this defense is a bend but don't break, and I don't see them breaking tonight at all.
Yeah, and we'll clean up the turnovers. I know some of those turnovers, like I said, were just because the offense is just airing it out. But we'll see. I think if the offense gets out there and takes off those barriers, this could be a high-scoring opportunity for us, not them.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But anyways, this has been the halftime show by the South Texan. I'm your host, Jacob Daniels, alongside
Chris Olivares. Thank y'all for watching.